oddities, and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be doing another adaptation arena, this time covering Kano. Kano has appeared in live action 3 times in Mortal Kombat 1995, Mortal Kombat Legacy Season 1, and Mortal Kombat 2021. So as always, we're going to go through 5 sections. For each section, we're going to compare which one is the best or the most accurate from that section, and whoever gets that gets 1 point, and by the end, whoever has the most points is considered the most accurate version of the character to the original source material. So without further ado, let's get started with the first section. Firstly, we have appearance. Now this one's pretty obvious, but I guess we'll talk about it anyways. Firstly, we have 1995, which more so takes after the comic version of Kano, where he has hair. Yeah, compared to the games, which he doesn't. Yeah. And then, of course, after this movie, this look became very, very popular, so it basically became Kano's main look for the rest of the series. But that's only in terms of his face design, of course, the face eye plate thing, his hair, his beard, all that stuff. But what about the actual design itself? Well, he kind of has 2. I mean, the second one is just like a shirtless version of the first one, but the first one isn't really anything Kano has worn in the games that led up to this movie, or really since then. I guess the closest thing is like his Mortal Kombat 9 alternate, but you know, the brown jacket look just isn't a very popular look for Kano. Next we have Legacy, which as always, just kind of boring, just a regular like outfit, just I don't know, nothing about this screams personality, nothing about this screams Kano. It's just like a thing a regular person would wear. And yeah, it's pretty boring. But in terms of the actual look, his hair, his beard, it's fine. He never wears the faceplate because this is like a prequel, so he doesn't get it until Jax punches his eye out. But yeah, we see it near the end of the episode, I think. And it looks very much like the Mortal Kombat 9 version, where it's kind of like Terminator, where it's like under the skin, as opposed to later games where it more so looks like it's on top of his eye. And that's cool, I guess. But yeah, in terms of his actual design throughout the entire thing, yeah, it sucks. And then we have Mortal Kombat 2021, which very much like Mortal Kombat Legacy does not have the eye plate, which is very weird. I don't know why they just decided to not have it. Instead, he just has like these 3 scratch marks from when Reptile scratched his face, which is kind of lame. At least his eye does like glow red at some points, but his hair is like brownish, orangish kind of color, not really black like how it usually is. And in terms of his actual outfit, I mean, it looks like something Kano would wear, but it doesn't really have the color. It doesn't have the red, the black, or even the white that he used to have. So, you know, it's kind of just like kind of like Legacy, but better than Legacy, like way better than Legacy, but not. But like you can see where the correlation is in terms of like how the design is respected, or how respectful it is to the source material. I don't know what I'm saying, but the point is that there's some sort of correlation there in terms of Kano designs that don't really look like Kano that much. But this one's better. But it's clear that 1995 gets the win. So yeah, point there. Now we have moveset. Again, this is a pretty obvious one, but I guess let's talk about these characters and what moves they do that are directly taken from the game. Kano from 1995 has a knife. That's pretty much it. He has a knife and he punches people. Alright. I'd say the knife in this one is a bit more accurate to the actual games. It's a very like stylish knife, and I like that compared to the other 2. But yeah, other than that, he doesn't really do any of his like game moves. He doesn't do the cannonball. He doesn't really stab anyone with a knife because PG-13 movie. And of course, he doesn't use the eye laser, which is super weird. Like you'd expect this movie out of all of them to be the one that used the eye laser, but you know, I guess CGI wasn't that great back then, so it's probably a good thing. Then we have Legacy, which just doesn't do anything. I don't even know if he has a knife. He just punches and kicks. Like, maybe he uses a gun, but Kano doesn't really use guns in his actual gameplay. So, yeah, Legacy sucks, as it pretty much always does. And then we have 2021, which I think is the obvious winner here. Not only does he use a knife, but he also very frequently uses eye laser. Of course, you have the whole Arcana problem in terms of origin of said powers, which is kind of stupid. And the fact that he doesn't have the metal plate, it's not cybernetics, is not great. But you know, at least he uses the eye at all. Like 1995 Legacy, they don't use him at all. Legacy just doesn't have a laser eye at all. Like, maybe 1995 has one, just didn't use one for some reason. But you know, Legacy doesn't have one just at all. Just can't do it. So yeah, 2021 gets the point here, I think, pretty obviously. Casting. Now we're gonna get pretty interesting and pretty controversial, because one of these actors quite literally made Kano. Like, they created the character of Kano that we know today. And that actor is the 1995 actor, Trevor Goddard. But there's another actor who might have one-upped him in the casting department, purely based off of how they casted characters. So this might be controversial for some people. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I guess we'll get straight into it. Firstly, we have Trevor Goddard, who is an English actor who tried to do a British Cockney accent, but you know, more people just associated it with being an Australian accent. So that's what Kano is now. Kano is now Australian. Obviously, it's not his fault, because he tried to do a British Cockney accent, but people misinterpreted it. So, you know, it kind of sucks that Kano is now considered Australian, and he is obviously not Australian whatsoever. At least I don't think. Maybe he has, like, some parts of him that are Australian. I don't know. But the point is that he is not Australian, and Kano is Australian, and that would very much help in the casting department. Other than that, he definitely looks like the character, in terms of just, like, how his face looks, hair, all that stuff. Like, not even just like with the makeup and all that in the actual movie, but just in general, like just in real life, he looks like Kano. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, but I don't know. I'm just saying. Then for Legacy, we have Darren Shalavi. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. He is a martial artist. He is kind of known for that. And he was in Mortal Kombat Legacy, as I just said, as Kano. So it's kind of weird that they would get like a martial artist to play this character. He is English, so not even Australian. I think he does an Australian accent in Legacy. I don't remember. But the point is that you know, it's just kind of weird that they would, like, I don't know, I guess waste this guy on like a character that doesn't really do martial arts that much. I mean, he does fight in the series, and you know, I guess a cool fight scene with Michael J. White as Jax, and he makes everything cool, so I guess that's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like could have played another character and probably been better. But you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're talking about him as Kano, and you know, he looks the part as Kano, kinda ish. I don't know. Like in the actual series, they don't really try that much to make him seem like Kano and the way he acts and stuff. So I don't know. I can't really place down if this casting is good or not. I don't know. I feel like in other things he could probably do a fine Kano, but in this he kind of just sucks because probably just given nothing to work with. Probably just said they probably just like gave him a script that was like, yeah, just be evil businessman guy, and that's it. And that's why Kano sucks so bad in this series, because they didn't even try with his character. Is it really that big of an impact on the series? Not really. People don't really care about Kano that much, but still, at least they should have at least tried. And then lastly, we have 2021, who in my opinion is probably the most accurate, just based off of the fact that the actor is actually Australian. You know, other than that, like, obviously didn't have any martial arts experience prior. You know, there's not really much to base off of when you're doing Kano. I mean, other acting works, he's mostly a comedy actor, comedic actor. I don't know what Trevor Goddard was before he did Kano. I don't know if he was just like drama or comedy or whatever. But Josh Lawson, definitely comedy. And yeah, but he's Australian. And I think that kind of trumps all other things, because I don't know, that's the most important thing when it comes to Kano's casting. And he understands being Australian. You know, when you see him act, like he just feels the most Australian. Like, of course he is actually Australian, but like just in his mannerisms and stuff. The other two, they didn't really like try to be Australian. I mean, especially Trevor Goddard didn't try to be Australian because he wasn't trying to be Australian at all. And the other actor weren't trying to be anything, just trying to be doing the script. That's what he was trying to do, nothing else. But yeah, Josh Lawson, I feel like actually understood not only Kano as a character, but that side of him. So yeah, I'm gonna give Josh Lawson as Kano the point here. Now we have personality, and this one's a tough one between two of them. One of them, I'm just gonna get out of the way right now. Legacy, as I've stated throughout this whole video, sucks. So we're just not gonna take him into account at all. He's just generic bad guy. So we're gonna kick him out of this. But 1995, 2021. Who wins this section? It's hard. It's really hard. As I've just stated in the casting section, the Kano in 2021 really understood the Australian side of the character, and I guess the comedy of it more. Of course, that version of the character is much more comedic than the game Kano, but they really amplify his comedy, like his specific comedy, not just like, I don't know, just taking like another character like Johnny Cage's comedy and plastering it onto him. No, they actually took the comedy from the character in the games and brought it over to the movie, just amplified it a lot. But 1995, I mean, it's literally the personality that turned Kano into what he is. Like, it's literally, like, without this, Kano is just kind of like Legacy, generic bad guy. But this one really placed down his personality to a T, and that's what 1995 actually did a lot. And I do recognize that I haven't been giving it enough credit in that regard in these videos. But yeah, especially for Kano, it's just like the most obvious, and there's no way I could just like ignore it. So yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. If we're talking about who's the better character, I would definitely say 2021 Kano. But in terms of who's more accurate, it's still very, very tough, because I feel like 2021 does have the benefit of the fact that this character has now existed for like 4 or 5 times as many years as he did when 1995 did the character. So it has that benefit in terms of just like the character's evolution and it being able to take from multiple sources. But 1995 also just completely made the character, and you know what? I think I just had a revelation. 2021, that version of the character would not exist at all. It would not exist, or it would not be anywhere near the same if 1995 didn't do it first. If 1995 didn't create that version of the character that was able to be built upon up until 2021. So, I'm giving 1995 the point here. Alright, I don't know, that might be controversial. I do recognize that 2021 is the better and funnier and whatever you want to say, just better character overall. But in terms of accuracy, I have to give it to 1995. Alright, now we have another pretty obvious one, because whenever you compare 1995 to these other two medias, it's pretty obvious who's going to win the story, just because Legacy and 2021 change so much about the story, especially since they're both prequels, and 1995 is the only one that actually tries to adapt the original source material. So, you know, whenever it's 1995 compared to those other two, it's just pretty obvious who's going to win. But yeah, in terms of story, 1995, I mean, it's Kano's story. He's mercenary, Black Dragon. He runs onto the ship because he's hired by Shang Tsung to do yada yada yada. Goes onto the ship, Sonya and the special forces follow him. They have all the scenes on the boat and stuff. And, you know, at that point kind of diverges, because I think in the original Mortal Kombat 1 storyline, Kano was more so on the Earthrealm side, whereas in 1995, he's like completely outworld. but I mean, that's not really a change that's major, especially looking back on it, because Kano has worked with Outworld a lot more since this movie came out. So, you know, if you're looking at the overall series, it's not like super inaccurate or anything, just kind of inaccurate to Mortal Kombat 1 specifically's storyline, not Mortal Kombat 1, the new one, the original Mortal Kombat 1. I don't know how to differentiate them. I guess I'll just call it Mortal Kombat 1992, but that is too much to say. Anyways, looking at the other two, Legacy, I mean, I've said this before, but this is a story that could have happened in the original timeline, I guess. But we don't know if it happened or not, so I can't say if it did or didn't, or if it's accurate. I just have to assume that it's inaccurate because we have no idea if this whole ambush of the Black Dragon or whatever happened in the original timeline. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know. We know nothing about the Black Dragon in the Special Forces history prior to like the Special Forces game, besides just like Kano was mean to people and the Special Forces wanted to stop him. So yeah, I maybe it could have happened, maybe it didn't. All I know is that we have absolutely no idea how Kano lost his eye. So maybe he did get punched in the face by Jax so hard that it just blew out of his face. But yeah, I have nothing to say with Legacy. It's inaccurate because I don't know if these events happened in the original timeline because we have no idea what happened in the original timeline with the Special Forces and the Black Dragon prior to the events of Mortal Kombat Special Forces. So yeah, that's Legacy. Go away. Just you haven't won a section in this entire video. Just leave. Never acknowledging you again. Then we have 2021, which, as I have stated previously in other videos, it's a prequel, just like Legacy, but this prequel actually is probably more inaccurate than Legacy because it directly conflicts with what happens in the actual Mortal Kombat 1992 like storyline, because you know all these characters meeting and coming together and having certain characters die, having certain events happen before they do, is all conflicting with what actually happens in the story. So this is definitely not the most accurate one. In fact, Kano dies. Kano literally dies before the events of the first Mortal Kombat game, which, you know, is obviously not very accurate. So I think 1995 obviously gets the point here. Now this one was pretty close, but I think we all knew in the end that even though Mortal Kombat 2021, it almost got it with that whole personality section, and you could make an argument for it, I think we all know beforehand that 1995 is the deserved winner of this adaptation arena because it is literally the version of the character that made the character. So whether or not technically 2021 could win, I think we all know deep down that it should be 1995. And yeah, that's actually it for Adaptation Arena as a series. At least for a while, because none of the other characters in Mortal Kombat have 3 live-action adaptations. There's, of course, the animated ones with Defenders of the Realm, Journey Begins, and like Battle of the Realms, the Legend series, and all that, but we don't want to talk about those. That is a lot less interesting. So yeah, we're going to have to wait until Mortal Kombat 2, the sequel to 2021, comes out in order to get more live-action versions of these characters. You know, we need Katana. Johnny Cage is obviously one that I really need to do, but he has 2 for some reason. I mean, I could compare Legacy Season 1 to Legacy Season 2, but I don't really want to do that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is weird. I guess Baraka's another one. He's in Legacy for like a split second. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it for Adaptation Arena for now. But yeah, make sure to check out the links in the description, including my merch store, my Mortal Kombat Retold podcast, as well as my Twitter and my Instagram. Also, make sure to give this video a like so that more people get to see it. Also, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. And with that being said, that's it for this video, my fellow oddities. I'll see you next time.